Hello and welcome to another video from Natasha Lee. As promised, I'm going to tell you that wonderful brand of gel I was using last week on my nails. And it is the new liquid builder gel from Premier Gel. I've been trialling this for a few weeks now to see how it really stood up, and I am so impressed with it. Stay tuned to find out more. And just to say before I start, Premier Gel currently have a half price sale on, and I don't know how much longer this is going to be for. So if you're wanting to grab the ridiculously well priced polishes and gels, then head on over now to premiergel.com. Now I'm just cleansing my nails with 99% isopropyl alcohol after I've removed my previous polygel and done my cuticle work and buffed the nails to remove the shine. If you want to know more about this, check out last week's video that is in the top right corner now, and you'll be able to see how I removed all of my polygel and how I got to this stage after cutting my nails down. Make sure you've removed all dust and surface contaminants thoroughly before you go on to the next step. Now I'm going to build up my middle finger because I actually broke this one, and you will see it in last week's video that I broke it in style. We're not talking a little break, we're talking a ginormous, humongous, massive break. So I'm going to build this up, and what I've done is I've got my nail form which I roll between my thumbs to get a nice rounded shape, and then I'm going to apply it to the nail. That's what's so great about this liquid builder gel. Now the one that I am using is a soak-off gel as well. So if you're wanting to know which ones on the website are soak-off gels, they're the ones with the French names. So I'm wearing Cannes, but there's Saint-Tropez and there's Paris and all sorts of other names like that. If they have a number on them, then they are a liquid builder gel which are permanent and need to be filed off like the polygel did for me last week. After I've got that form in place, I'm going in with my rubber base coat and I'm applying this nice and carefully around the cuticle area and drawing it over nice and thinly over that whole nail. One really nice thing about the rubber base coats, which I wasn't sure about when they first came out, but I actually love it for filling in imperfections and gaps. You can see it sort of self-levels and gives you a lovely base. Now I'm going in with Cannes, which is B20, and I'm applying this over the whole nail. Just first I'm going in with a nice even thin layer. I love this colour, it is the absolute perfect colour for my nails to get a true nude. In fact, I love it so much that I have already gone online to the sale yesterday and bought myself another bottle because I don't want to risk running out of this baby. And just to say, whilst these gels are incredibly cheap, it is not because they are rubbish quality, which I will be honest, I initially thought that was probably what it was when I started. I couldn't get over the quality of these gels on the first time I used them on my swatch video. And you remember how I reacted to that. I have to give it to the company. The way they are keeping these prices so cheap is because they are direct selling it themselves. They create it and they sell it, and they are so efficient at doing this. So it's cutting out the middleman and it's cutting out the expense. What I'm doing here is I am applying some gel down the centre of the nail. Now with gel, what's different to acrylic? Acrylic, you push into place and pat into place. Gel, you pull into place. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm sort of almost going like a spider's web across the nail. I'm pulling that gel on the brush where I want it to go. Then I'm having a look to see where there's any flat spots, and any flat spots I am pulling some more gel into place. Now the only thing to say with liquid builder gels is don't apply too much at once. I'm taking my time doing this to show you in the video. I'm not doing a full enhancement as such, but I am doing a very good strengthening layer over the top of my natural nails. I think with liquid builder gels it's important to not apply too much at once, and what we're doing is we're trying to get most of that product in the centre of the nail to give me a sort of apex. To make sure it stays in the right place, you can turn your hand upside down and it sort of draws all of that gel into the centre area where you want it to give you that apex shape. And you can see here that worked perfectly, it's self-levelled. You can see on the end view here that I've got a little bit extra product down the sides, as you can see here. And here as well. So we want a bit more down the centre of the nail, and that's what I'm going to do. So literally just apply it on the centre of the nail. The best way I find to do this is do a thin layer over the whole nail first, and then put more where you want it and just draw it round like I'm doing here. Wiggle your brush back and forward, and you can do that to get rid of bubbles too. Keep checking just to see where the centre is. You can see it's gone off to the side. So I'm turning my nail to make it go the other way. Just turn it upside for a second and perfect. As it draws down, you're going to just pop it into that lamp. Now for the nail that I'm doing the build up on, I'm applying a nice thin layer over the whole nail, and close up you can see that this nail took a huge hit and the nail bed does look traumatized because it hurt. It really, really, really hurt basically. So I'm applying a nice thin even layer over the whole nail first. Get it nice and tight around the cuticle area, and then with the product on the end of the brush, you can see I am dabbing and drawing that gel across the end of the nail. It's so easy doing build-ups and creating nails with this liquid builder gel. It's so perfect to use. I'm actually going to be using this as well on some of my friends as a strengthening layer, just a single layer underneath their gel polish to make sure that it really lasts. And you can see there how easy that is just to draw it across to build up that tip. And when you're happy with it and it's just settled, then you can pop it in the lamp. But if you do want to make any amendments, you can take one of my cleanup brushes, and links to every product in this video is in the description down below. And I'm just going to tidy that up a little bit and then clean up my brush afterwards. Once you've cured it, go back in. And I'm curing this in my LED lamp for 60 seconds. Go back in and apply another layer over that whole nail. And you get a nice thin layer first, as I said, because it makes it much easier then to pull the gel into the position you want it and where you want it. And make sure that line between the actual nail and the tip is nicely covered and reinforced. Now, to be honest, I could have done a better job of this. This is a bit messy, but you know, it's working. I'm a bit out of practice using liquid builder gels, and this, in total honesty, was my absolute first go using any liquid builder gel that's come out of a bottle. This is my first go. In the past, I've used Polygel, I've used Skyscraper, I've used Breezer and Breezer Light. This product is different, but it's so much easier to grasp. Again, if you want, you can turn your finger upside down, and this is a very common gel effect to do. And then when you're cured, you can remove your form, and then we're just going to file that nail into shape. And as always, I start by filing from the sides, just refine the end of the nail and then refine around the sides. And if you want to see a full details of how I file nails, I do have a filing video which I will link in the top right corner now. Essentially what I do is I start at the sides, and then I go around the cuticle area and up the centre of the nail to refine that shape. And it is a beautiful product to work with. You can see that the dust is nice and heavy dropping down because you don't want that going up into the air and affecting you when you're working because you're breathing it in. And I'm just refining the shape, and this is the nail that I did the build up on. So this is the one that the tip is all gel. Before you go to file any nails after you've cured them, just wipe off that sticky inhibition layer. And then you are ready to start filing. And I do always like to start with a nice hard cord file, a nice thin one to get nice and tight down the sides and refine the edge. And then because the shape is so good, I'm just trying with a buffing block here first to see if I can refine the shape enough with just a buffing block, but then I decided to just go in and perfect it a little bit more with a 240 file. Just to say, I had so many messages when I did my swatch video asking about buying the product abroad and overseas, and they do send to certain areas in the world. However, they are looking for distributors. However, Premier Gel are looking for foreign distributors, so if you are interested, then drop an email to steve@premiergel.com, and I'll include that email in the description down below. Once you're happy with the shape that you've filed, brush off any excess nail dust and make sure you do under the nails as well to prevent reactions building up, before going in with 99% isopropyl alcohol and cleaning over those nails. I love this colour so much. I think this is my new colour. This is my new colour. And make sure you clean under those nails as well with your pad. And I keep getting asked about the plastic back pads, and every week I put a link in the video description where you can purchase them. Now that is the finished gel, filed and cleansed, but not top coated. And as you'll see in last week's video, I created this look with one of my own glitters from my range, Divine by Natasha Lee. So here we are 2 weeks later, and you can see there's considerable growth on my nails. They are a bit slow to grow, but my cuticles are always horrendous. But you can see where they've grown out at the bottom, and there is absolutely zero lifting, and this is exactly 2 weeks to the day since I applied them. So I'm going to remove 3 different nails and show you 3 different ways to reapply this. On my little pinky finger here, I'm going to just take off all of the gel completely down to a thin layer and show you how it soaks off. I do find it very therapeutic using an e-file, and if you want to know which e-file this is, it's the Cyan K38, and there's a link in the description with a discount code of where you can purchase it. I'm just starting by removing all of the top coat and the glitter first, taking it off nice and carefully, and as you can see I'm using a safety bit so it doesn't affect the skin around the nail. And as I get close down those sides, you can see there really is zero lifting, which did massively surprise me. I don't know why, really. I just kind of expected it to lift. I thought new product, really cheaply priced, it's not going to last. And it really, really did. And I do just want to say that this video is sponsored by Premier Gel. However, I only agreed to do it after I had already trialed the product and to see whether or not I actually liked the product, and I was impressed with it. And as I was so impressed with it, as you can see, I agreed to do the video with them. And I am more than happy to promote this product because it is working so well for me. Now, once you've got that gel nice and thin, I'm cutting up a cotton pad, soaking it with acetone, and then going to apply that pad onto the nail and apply a pro tip clip over the top. And then I'm going to set a timer and leave it to soak for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I removed it, and I was a bit worried because it looked like it had done nothing, and then it did that. And that's why I paused, because I was like, what? It just comes off that easily. It's literally, it looks completely intact. You hardly have to touch it, and it just comes off. Then I took a plastic back pad and wiped over the top, and done. Amazing. So on my ring finger, I'm going to rebalance, and I'm going to do it with an e-file. So by rebalance, some people call this a backfill or an infill. A rebalance is a bit more than that. A rebalance is when you put more product on, but you reshape the entire look of the nail. So you reposition the apex and give that strength and shape back to the nail, rather than just stick a blob of product in the bottom and smooth it over. So to do this first, I removed all of my glitter and my top coat. And then you can see here, I'm pushing that apex back again. I'm removing the excess product that's towards the base of the nail. Then when I want to really refine it, I'm going in with a 240-240 wood core file here, just to get nice and even around that cuticle area. And again, you can see no lifting. I know I keep saying it, but I have done so much cleaning this week and didn't wear gloves, and I was so surprised. Also, since I've had these nails on, I had my youngest son in a hospital, and the alcohol gel is renowned for destroying your nails. Now that one's done, we're going to be ready to rebalance, so I'm going to show you on my middle finger that I'm doing this instead with a hand file. Just because I know some of you guys won't be using e-files, I use the same basis all the time. When I'm hand filing, I always start at those sides to keep those walls tucked in, go onto the TV control method, and then I do the horseshoe around the base of the nail, and all that is explained in that video I told you about with filing techniques. Once I'm happy I've got all that off and we're down ready to apply the next layer, I'm going to cleanse before I use my Essie's cuticle remover and the cuticle hoof pusher and curette from my range Divine by Natasha Lee. You'll have seen me use this in last week's video, and you can see also there's a lot less cuticle this time. That fluffiness on the end of my hoof stick there is my cuticle, and then turning around to the curette side, look at that, look how much comes off. I designed this tool based on exactly what I was looking for. You only need to use it very, very gently, but it is so effective, as you can see. Look at all that cuticle, it's gross. So on that little finger, which I have taken completely back to my bare nail, I'm very lightly going to buff over. That's mainly to remove the shine, ready to apply another layer of gel. And then going to cleanse all of the nails with 99% isopropyl alcohol, and that's ready so we can apply our next layer of gel. I love a blank canvas like this ready to work on. So again, we're going in with our rubber base coat, and this is the little finger, and I'm just going to apply a nice even layer over the whole nail, get it nice and tight around the cuticle area and down those side walls, and don't forget to cap the ends. Give it a couple of moments and it will self-level. Then I've applied a nice thin layer of the cans gel before building up a bit and curing, and then going back in again. So essentially what I've done here is just soak off the gel to show you what the nails are like and how it soaks off, and then I'm reapplying it completely again. And I'm just going to build up that shape again, doing the little wiggle method back and forth, pulling that gel to where you want it. And each time you're happy with your shape, give it a quick cure. You can see I've got a bit too much product on one side there, so I'm going to just put my finger upside down till it goes into the right place, and then cure it. And when it's cured, just remove that sticky layer, ready to buff. On my other nails, which I've done with my e-file and my hand file, I'm going to go in with the rubber base coat, and this only actually needs to be applied where there is natural nail. You don't have to go over the whole nail. Cure that in your lamp. Once you're happy with it, I'm just using my cleanup brush here, and then I'm going back in with that Cans B20 liquid builder gel, and I'm trying to put more product. You can see I'm sort of pushing and then dotting it around the base of that nail, because that's where I want most of the product, is around the base area. Sometimes it helps to draw it over the whole nail first, because the gel sticks to itself much easier. So go over the whole nail, make sure you've got a nice excess product at the bottom. Just dab round and pull that excess gel around that base of the nail where you want it. Get it nice and tight around that cuticle area. And then look from the side to make sure you're happy with the shape, which I am here. When it's cured, go back in and remove that sticky layer. Then we're going to finish file. I won't go into too much detail with this because there's no need. You've watched me do it before, and if you want to see it in great detail, you can watch my filing video. It's always the same method I use. It's my go-to method, and I find it gives me a perfect and beautiful natural shaped nail. But just showing you here how nice this is to file. It's not completely soft, so that you know it's not going to protect your nails, but it's not rock hard. And I am using a 100 grit to refine the top of that nail. Just checking that shape there to see where it needs a bit of perfection. You want the most product down the centre of the nail, and you can see there's a bit of a bump there, so I'm going to take that down. Much happier with that shape. So then I'll move on to my buffing block just to refine it before we're ready to cleanse and top coat. I'm now just going to cleanse them all, and then I'm going to apply my top coat over, but look how beautiful they look. And here are the nails, all rebalanced or reapplied. I hope this shows you the different ways that you can not only remove it but reapply it as well, and I hope it explains the theory of a rebalance. I am still actually really loving the short nails. It's still taking a bit of getting used to, but I am actually preferring them. It's weird, after 3 years of super long nails. I know that you guys have been saying these are really long for you guys, and in the past for me these would have been really long for me too, but after having them so stupidly long, they seem really short. After you've cured your top coat, go in with your cuticle oil, and this is my homemade cuticle oil, and there's a link in the top right corner of the video which teaches you how to make it. And here is the finished look. I love this. There are a different range of different coloured gels. Take a look at the website at premiergel.com, but this one is Cans, and this one I think is my personal favourite for my colouring. Let me know when you've had a look which is your personal favourite. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know what other videos you would like to see, and if you want to see me do more stuff with Premier Gel. I've got a load of new colours and I've got some wonderful ideas to play with them. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. A huge shout out to my VIPs, who are all the most awesome people ever, and I will see you all very, very soon.